Hi, Alice. My name is Dennis Davila from La Oficina Geek, Puerto Rico. Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Mucho gusto.
Mucho gusto, mucho gusto. Thank you for taking your time to speak with me. I must say, the film was truly enjoyable and it kept me entertained from start to finish.
That's great. Thank you so much. That's wonderful
Yeah.
to know.
Yes. So I always like to start with a simple question. How was the filming experience?
It was really nice. I mean, always wanted to work with Robert. I've worked with him before, but only as a producer. He produced Predators, which was a film I was in a while ago. So I always wanted to work with him as a director. I always admire his work. He comes from independent films like I do. So I always wanted to work with him as an actress, not just as as a producer. But he, as soon as he told me about the project, for me was very interesting for an actor because there's so many twists and turns and so many different characters in one same character that I got very excited when he showed me the script and what style that he wanted to do the film, more of a film noir and all that. And once he told me Ben was attached, I was even more curious to see how the partnership between both of them, who are both directors, would happen in a film with so many twists and turns. So it was something that really excited me.
Good, good. Really good to hear that. So, what can you share with the audience about your character, Diana Cruz, in the film, and how do you go about developing a connection to this role?
Um, it's a completely different way of it approaching a normal character because she has, when people see the film, they're going to see that there's so many twists and turns.
Yes.
Especially we're talking about hypnosis and all of those things. You really can imagine where the film and the storyline can take you. But it's a character that I love because it really talks about like layers of personality and how much we can hide stuff even from ourselves. So for an actor's point of view, I try to connect both Dianas that exist in the movie into one without giving it too much.
Yes.
Without giving it too much. But she's a strong woman more than anything and very compassionate and very warm and very kind. But we see a different side of her that was built into being the strong, cold woman. But I try not to do two separate characters, but trying to create one that is full on like both characters in one. So it was a nice challenge as an actor.
Yeah, and it was really good. I mean, I felt the two characters, I could tell them apart, but at the same time, I knew it was the same Diana, so you did a great job.
Thank you so much.
So, given your experience in the action and thriller films, you have been in I Am Legend, Predators, Elysium, yeah, and also the Suicide Squad, which are really good. It's no surprise that Hypnotic also includes, these high intensity action sequences. So how do you prepare for that?
I mean, I also did a show. I love doing action, and I also did a show for 5 years. 5 years. It's called Queen of the South. That had a lot of action. It's so funny that I feel like I've been doing so much. It's so much fun. I think it's more of an understanding. I love action coming from the point of view of the character. So the life, like the threatening and like saving someone. So for this one, there was some action, but it wasn't so physical. It was more the run and all that. So I always try to, one, more than anything, have to keep working out, have to keep running, have to keep ready to do many takes on set. But more than that, I think it was like understanding what was the emotion that Robert wanted for those specific actions, which there's some in this film, but the most fun one is the motorcycle one. And Ben is he drives really well.
Actually, oh, really?
Yes, it's almost scary, but it was great. He did a bunch of it and we did it together. So it was fun. But yeah, I think it's just like being in your body. That's the most thing that you can do.
Nice. That sequence was really cool. So the film deals obviously with the concept of hypnosis. Do you have to do any research about this?
I never got like hypnosis session, which I really wanted to, but I read a lot about it, like and how traditional and classic it is, like for so many years and so many, like a lot of people treat a lot of diseases with it and all that. So I kind of dig deep into it, but not so deep into like I didn't do hypnosis myself, but I talked and tried to understand with Robert, for example, how he wanted us to be like, okay, Ben and I were trying to understand like how do you want us to really pretend we're hypnosing someone? Like, do we want to overdo it or not? So it was more of like creating our own way of doing without a pendulum or anything. But I never done it. Did you?
Oh,
Have you ever done it?
no, I've never done it. I quite frankly, I don't think I will do it. Maybe someday, I don't know.
I think it's really good, but I've never done it. But I researched a lot about it. I read a lot about it just to get an idea of the world, but I never done it myself.
Nice to know. Nice to know. Can you describe a scene or a moment of the film that was a challenge to film?
There's one specific moment. It was more of a challenge because of location and also emotion and all that. But because Robert wanted a house that it was one side, and then he wanted to flip the camera, and it was a completely different location. So we had to break the scene in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was a challenge for the story and emotionally, because it's exactly when my character is a turning point when she, I don't want to say much, so people don't know much about it.
Okay.
And that's like for filmmaking, it was a challenge to film that. But also I think like just understand with all the actors, because it's a movie within the movie within the movie. And it's interesting once you work on that, how everybody needs to be connected into, okay, in what moment we are emotionally, in what moment we're creating the scenes together. And because that's a turning point for the film that we're filming, we had one location that Robert wanted this side, and then we had to flip locations, do a company move, like change the entire set to shoot the other side. So that was challenging emotionally to keep on track of the emotions, but also camera position and everything else. But Robert has been doing that for 30 years. So it's just a joy to work with someone who knows so much about filmmaking that for him it was easier. But it was a nice challenge as an actress to keep track of what it was, how it was, what we can do, what we cannot. So it's great.
And it sounds exciting. It sounds very exciting to do that stuff. So as an actress, what is it about the thriller genre that you find particularly appealing or challenging?
I love the mystery. I think as an actor, we always give a lot, but there's a lot that we should keep in so the audience can feel in. And I love that. I love the mystery of it. And I think once you do a thriller, you're also doing that with the storytelling, with all the characters more than anything. And I always think that's very interesting. I myself am a big thriller fan. I'm
a big fan.
Yeah, I love thrillers. I love dark movies.
Yes.
And once you're like hooked into something, you're like, wait, what? And then you cannot stop watching. And I think that's why I love making them, because as an actor, you're kind of like trying to play that and not give it in too much to the audience. But I think like just the idea of like how you can hook, how you can really grab the audience hand and say, okay, this and then this and then this. And I think thrillers bring that more than anything.
Yeah, definitely. So my last question, any final message you would like to share to your fans prior to the premiere of this movie?
Enjoy the ride, because it's fun. I think of a film that the less you know, the better. Because I think that's how Robert, when he wrote the script, he wanted, I think, for people to watch. So it's interesting to not know much about it and enjoy the ride, have fun, because I think that's what we want to have.
Well, thank you so much, Alice. I wish you well in your future. Take care.
Thank you very much. You as well. I love your background.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.